And it's Booker T, 6-time world champion, my man Brad Gilmore from Manscaped. The Performance Package 5.0 Ultra is here. And let me tell you, it's got futuristic tendencies included in this bundle, guys. Brand new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, the Weed Whacker 2.0 ear and nose and hair trimmer, and essentials aftercare products like the Crop Soother, the Ball Aftershave Lotion, and the Crop Preserver Anti-Chafing Ball Deodorant, and 2 free gifts. Oh, yes!
That's right, Book. Their 5th generation lawnmower features 2 interchangeable next-gen skin-safe blade heads, a standard one for taking a little off the top, and a new foil blade to go smooth wherever your heart desires. And did I mention? It's waterproof too. Manscaped, they did us a favor, Book. All the listeners of the Hall of Fame, and they threw in 2 free gifts. The Boxers 2.0 and the Shed 2.0 toiletry bag. Resolutions may come and go, but a well-groomed you is here to stay with Manscaped's latest and greatest.
Yeah, and start the new year off right, because when you look good, you feel good. Manscaped help you sculpt the best version of yourself for the year ahead. New year and new you, and definitely a new trimmer. Manscaped got your grooming resolutions covered. Guys, get 20% off and free shipping with the code Booker at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code Booker. Happy New Year to your balls. Sucker! And this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, let's talk about it. Let's talk about sex. Hey, you remember when you was always ready to go? I'm talking about strapping the rocket on it, man. Going straight to the moon. I'm talking about getting it done. If you want that extra confidence, I got something for you. Listen up. BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but in a chewable tablet at the fraction of the cost.
But the great thing, Book, is you can take it any time, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days.
The best part, guys, it's all done online on the internet. So there's no doctor's visit, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at a pharmacy or any of that.
And the thing is, Book, Blue Chew's tablets, they're made right here in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package, so no one is the wiser.
You know, let's just get it out there, guys. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. It's like this: chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code Booker at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com and use promo code and receive your first month absolutely free, man. Visit BlueChew.com. Use promo code Booker to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, you know, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it. Hey, are you ready to elevate your game and your style? Hey, this is Booker T, and together with Brad Gilmore, we're here to introduce you to something exceptional from PXG, their line of new golf apparels. Now, you already know PXG's reputation for creating some of the most high-quality, high-performance golf clubs out there. Now they've taken the same dedication to excellence and applied it to their latest apparel line. And let me tell you, they absolutely nailed it.
I've had the pleasure of wearing PXG's apparel out on the course, and I'm genuinely impressed. The quality, top-notch. The style, unmatched. The fit, like it was tailored just for me. These pieces aren't just designed for performance on the greens. They're crafted to make you look and feel your best, whether you're sealing deals in the office or enjoying a night out on the town.
And from the sleek polos to the comfortable but yet stylish pants, from the versatile quarter zips to the cozy sweaters, every item invites you guys to play all day long.
That's right, BT. PXG has something for everyone. We're talking about pants, polos, sweaters, hats, quarter zips, joggers, jackets, skirts, everything you could possibly want. You know, Book, we got some PXG gear in the mail, and I gotta tell you, I love the PXG hat. It fits just right, and that silky smooth PXG polo they sent got me feeling right out on the course. I feel like I get a couple extra yards out of my drive, and it also works real well in an office setting. I don't feel out of place, but I feel as comfortable as possible. So you tell them, BT, how can they get this PXG gear like we got?
Now, here's your chance to experience the PXG difference. Don't just play the game, elevate it. Visit pxg.com/Booker T. Use the code, man, Booker T, and step your game up on and off the course.
Again, elevate your style game on and off the course with PXG Spring Summer 2024 collection. Head over to pxg.com/Booker T and use the code Booker T to save 10% on all apparel.
PXG, nobody makes golf's apparel quite like it. Hey, are you aware of how exposed your personal information is online? Hi, I'm Booker T alongside Brad Gilmore, and we've delved into the digital realm to discover just how much our privacy data is out there for the taking. You'd be surprised, or maybe even alarmed at what we found. We did a simple Google search of our name and email addresses, and the results were eye-opening. Our personal information, from full name to home addresses and even health records, was all laid to bear. It's unsettling to think that this information can be sold to data brokers, making us a target for scammers and spammers.
And Book, that's where Aura comes in. A service we've both been using and genuinely endorse. Aura scans these data brokers and reveals who's selling your information, then helps you opt out automatically. When I checked my Aura account, I was shocked to see the number of brokers that had my details on file. But it's not just about reducing spam. This is about safeguarding our digital lives. Hackers can exploit this information to breach our social media, bank accounts, and more. Aura's comprehensive protection, which includes antivirus, VPN, password management, and even identity theft insurance, offers a robust shield against these intrusions.
Think of it this way. You wouldn't secure just the front door of your home and leave the back door wide open, right? That's why relying on a piecemeal solution isn't enough. Aura provides an all-encompassing security suite that's always on, ensuring my peace of mind.
We're not just talking about protection, we're talking about convenience. All of these features come in one package, easy to set up without the hassle of juggling multiple apps.
So, if you value your privacy as much as we do, consider giving Aura a try. Guys, visit aura.com/Booker T to start your 2-week free trial. It's time to take control of your online presence and secure your digital world.
Yo, what's happening? Houston, this is the place to be, and I am DMC in the place to be with my man Brad Gilmore and the one and only, the champ, the man Booker T. So let's get it popping.
Live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. Join the 6-time World Heavyweight Champion, 2-time WWE Hall of Famer, and WWE NXT announcer, Booker T. Booker T. Alongside his right-hand man, the BOAT, Brad Gilmore. It's time to get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Boom! Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. And we coming to you live from the MGM Grand and Hotel and Casino, getting ready for a big fight going down this weekend. Actually, it's going to be here in a minute. Sebastian Fundora taking on Tim Zoo. Can't wait for that. Roller Romero versus Isak Pitbull Cruz. Cannot wait for that. It's going to be some highly anticipated action going down at the T-Mobile Arena on Saturday night, man. You don't want to miss out. You don't want to get shut out. And I'm just glad we're here for the festivities. I always love, coming to the boxing, being up close and personal. Almost like Frank Sinatra back in the day when he was, taking photos of Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali. And I was like, man, I want to be like Frank one day, man. That was always my goal, to be like Frank one day. And boom, and now we're here, up close and personal with the fight game. So, man, I'm loving it, man. But how you feel, man? How you feel?
Yeah, I'm feeling good too, Book. MGM Grand, shout out to y'all. We're actually in the King's Suite. So y'all can't see, this is a 2-level.
No.
There's stairs. There's a whirlpool. There's actually an elevator.
Ain't none of that. But Charbel, don't believe none of that. Okay? So you ain't about to get me dropped.
Look.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, I remember when we were out here for Row one night in Vegas, y'all had that big suite, you and Charmel.
Yeah,
remember?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we had the after party here. Now, just so y'all can see how a real high roller rolls. Like that after party, we had all our guys, some of the Vegas crew guys who were there. And so there must have been, 50 people?
Oh, yeah. It was
60?
It was a big party, man.
In the room. Like there's enough room to do it.
Yo, it's crazy. All these years that I have been coming to the MGM Grand, I didn't even know they had, rooms that had balconies. I didn't know that at all. And then when Charmel, I don't know how she got that hooked. You know what? I don't know how much money I spent for that. And I'm glad, because I probably would have been like, baby, what were you thinking? But now I heard we got the discounted rate. I don't know what that is. And I didn't even ask. And for all you married men out there, don't ask. Okay? I'm just giving you
Don't look at the bank statement.
Don't even do it. Don't even do it.
I've made that mistake.
Just don't ask because there's all kind of stuff being ordered that you don't know about. There's all kind of stuff, coming in that you wondering what this come from. You know what I mean? It's like my wife. I had a Louis Vuitton bag. And I was happy with it. I got it from Korea when I was over there and bought it for $25. And it looked just like the real bag, right? And I had no problem with this bag. And for some reason, Charmel did not like me walking around with this bag. So one day...
Charmel's watching.
So one day,
Hi, Queen.
So one day, she about to hear this story then. So one day I came home. And I don't know, it was my birthday. I can't remember what it was, but it was a brand new Louis, just like the one that I had. Okay? And I'm like, oh, okay, baby, hooking me up. I appreciate it. It was one of those type of deals. So I took the bag, I went on the road. And then one day I just happened to be reaching in and pulling some stuff out, and the sticker came out of how much it was.
Oh, no.
I almost lost my damn mind.
Like, I hope that's yen.
It had cash on it and everything. And I'm like, oh, no. I almost went into shock, when I saw that. But it's cool. It's cool. Don't look. Don't
do it.
All right? I'm just giving you some friendly advice.
But no, we're excited here for the fight, Fundora and Tim Zoo. Now, the other thing I wanted to say, you mentioned Frank Sinatra and wanted to be Frank. I was listening to something with a soon-to-be, at this time next week, a week from today, Paul Heyman's going to be going in the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. And I never knew how he got his start in the pro wrestling business. I just heard an interview he did. You know how he got his start? No? So he bought a camera and went to Madison Square Garden, and somehow, he was in high school, and somehow finagled his way in to be a photographer for the show that night. And as he's walking to go to the ring to go take pictures, he looks in the hallway, and he sees Vincent J. McMahon, Vince Sr., and Andre the Giant talking to each other in the hallway. And Paul said, I've just thought this is like a great moment. He said, I had my camera real low, and I took like 30 pictures real quick and then ran out of the room just to maybe I would get one good one. He went home and developed the film, had these really awesome pictures of Andre and Vince. So the next show, he goes back to take pictures, and he frames up one of them and goes and gives it to Vince Sr. And Vince Sr.'s like, oh, these are pretty good, kid. You know, are you working your way through school? He thought Paul was in college. And then he's like, yes, sir. Yes, Mr. McMahon. And then he said, like, old school Vegas style. He, like, shook his hand, and he gave him, like, a $50 bill, right? He goes, that's to be your transport, to help go buy you some books for school or something like that. And then that's how Paul broke into the business. And every month he'd come back and take pictures, and Vince would pay him off for $50. And
I heard a little bit of that story as far as him being a photographer. I didn't hear that story before. But, yeah, man, you got to know how to, get in sometimes. Sometimes you got to finagle your way in. I always tell my students, you don't have to actually know how to do it. You just have to act like you know how to do it very, very well. And you might become something. So, nah, man, I get it, man. Paul's going to the Hall of Fame. Big ups.
Yeah, and he said kind of like what I think that you did. Now, again, when you went in the Hall the first time, I was just starting, I think, in reality wrestling, so I don't think I got to talk to you about it. But Paul said he's going to go out there, read the room for his Hall of Fame speech.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm gonna wing it. I'm not gonna write anything down.
Yeah.
Now, did you write your first Hall of Fame speech, or did you just go out there and kind of had your bullets that you wanted to hit?
I had my bullet points. Actually, I didn't do the prompter or anything like that. I just went out and just felt the room, felt the vibe, and tried to just deliver. I had really, really no real direction other than my finish, and it's almost like a match. You start from the finish and work your way back, and so I pretty much kind of like took that approach. I knew exactly my finish was going to be all about Charmel more than anything, and it was going to be a rap after that. We was going to go home. So a lot of guys go out and read that prompter, and I feel like that's got to be hard. Much more harder than actually going out there and feeling it. I would imagine it has to be much more harder than going out there and just feeling it.
Well, also too, like your strengths as a wrestler, is not reading from a prompter, right? Like, hey, you got 60 seconds to cut a promo, go cut it. Do you know what I mean? And you're not thinking, okay, let me read the script off the prompter.
Yeah.
And for people who've never read off a prompter, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do.
No, it's not the easiest.
It's kind of difficult.
You know what? I can read a ticker a whole lot better than a prompter.
Like you mean like one that goes across the bottom?
Yeah, going across the bottom. I mean, those are so easy for me compared to actually doing the prompter.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Prompters are hard.
Yeah. I can actually feel it a whole lot more on the ticker. So anytime I'm working, and if I can get like doing WWE biographies or something, I had to have a prompter. I was like, man, can you guys work the ticker? You know what I'm saying? We can work that a whole lot better. You know what I mean? And sometimes they will make it work for me. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see Paul Heyman. He's going to go in and he said he's going to call it in the ring. He's got to see what the vibe of the people are going to be.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're going to let Paul do whatever he wants.
But hopefully he won't have one of those Janet Jackson earpieces like Taker had. Because if that happens, we're going to be there for a while.
Like I said, when Take came out and he had the Madonna Janet Jackson microphone, I said, okay, we better sit down.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be a minute.
You're cold when it get ready. You might even want to get a pillow and a blanket because we're going to be here for a minute.
But there's going to be a lot of speeches there. Like I still don't know who's accepting the Hall of Fame induction for Muhammad Ali. I don't know if they've announced it yet. I saw that The Rock's grandmother is going into the Hall of Fame this year. She was the wife of the High Chief Peter Maivia and ran the whole promotion.
Okay.
Kind of I think from what I was reading about her biography, one of the first female promoters.
Yeah, I had heard that before,
Yeah, so she's going to be going in. I'm sure that The Rock's going to have something maybe to do with that. I imagine that he would.
Thunderbolt Patterson.
Thunderbolt.
Who's going to be inducting him in?
I don't know who's doing his speech, but I hear he's going to be there to do the speech.
Oh, no, he's going to be there.
Yeah.
I know somebody.
But who's inducting him?
I heard it was going to be someone not in the wrestling world, not someone in the entertainment world, just I don't know, somebody that's close to him.
Okay.
Yes. I can't remember who they said it was. I was reading it, and it just slipped my mind right now. Yeah.
I'll look it up during the break here. But yeah, man, I think that the Hall of Fame this year is going to be awesome overall because the thing is you have Ali going in, Thunderbolt Patterson, the U.S. Express, Paul Heyman. There's someone I'm forgetting. Who else is going in? I mean, whoever it is, it's a Hall of Fame's always a great night. You know what I mean? And much love and respect to the legend Hillbilly Jim, but we can't have too many hillbilly speeches.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, Charmel, she's psyched. I know she's out there. She's listening. I know she's psyched for it. She's probably gonna be, best dressed in the room. So all you ladies out there that's listening to the show, you better come prepared. You better come with your best, though, because it's gonna be it's always a contest. I tell my students all the time, don't think that you're not being tested all the time. You are being tested all the time. So, guys, you better, be suited and booted, because I know I'm going to be looking real fly, man. I'm going to be looking real good. But the ladies, y'all better be tight. But we got to take a break, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. Stick around, y'all. We'll be back in a minute. Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. We're coming to you live from the MGM Grand Hotel and Casino, live from Las Vegas, Nevada, baby. Getting ready for the big fight going down this weekend. Tim Tszyu versus Sebastian Vandur for the 154 fight supremacy, man. Who's going to walk away with all the gold, baby? As well as that my man in that co-main event, Rolly Romero, hard hitter, dynamite in both hands, but he's going to be taking on a very, very crafty Isak Pitbull Cruz. And I tell you, either one of those fights for me, it could be the main event. I know Keith Thurman dropped out with a bicep injury. Hopefully, Keith Thurman will come back 100% and get right back in the mix, because I was highly anticipating that fight, man, going down with Keith Thurman, just to see that fight right there. I think with Thurman and Tim Tszyu, it was going to be a fight of IQs more than anything, even though Ben Getty, the trainer, God rest his soul, for Keith Thurman, always said, believe in your power, son. Always believe in your power. But I thought it was going to be a chess match more than anything. But this fight, Fundora, Tim Tszyu, it can't be nothing but one of those rock'em sock'em robots. Slugfest, man. It's going to be like in a phone booth. Neither guy is going to be doing a whole lot of running. So this fight, man, I'm excited. Live from the T-Mobile Arena going down Saturday night. Yes.
It's going to be great. Yeah, shout out to MGM for the accommodation. Shout out to everybody who makes it possible. Shout out to Steve and the whole crew for making this happen. We teased it on the radio show yesterday, and I wanted to bring it up to you today because Bleacher Report is doing their top 50 WWE superstars of all time, right? And they the list is up to, I think, number 21. They haven't dropped the top 20 yet. But I will tell you this: your name has already sprung up in the 50 through 30 or 50 through 21 category. Okay? It's already come up. Now, how do you feel, first off, about lists in general? Like these lists that outlets make. Do you think that they're accurate, or do you think that it's too hard to just say these are the best ever because there's so many quantifiers? Now, they gave some criteria. Do you want to hear what the criteria is?
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, go ahead. And then I answer the question.
Okay. Wait, make sure you keep the mic in front of you.
No, my bad.
You're good.
My bad. I was thinking when you...
I know. You're deep in thought. Okay, here's what their criteria is. Historical significance.
Okay.
Do they have a meaningful impact on WWE history? Championships. Were they among the most decorated in the company's history? Popularity. How over was the superstar with the WWE's fans? Needle mover. Did they make meaningful differences in the ratings, ticket sales, and overall business? Time active. Was the superstar successful over a sustained period of time? Pay-per-view appearances. Were they fixtures on the biggest shows in WWE? And then skills. In-ring mic charisma. Were they more than just a wrestler? Did their skill set stop at the microphone? Were they charismatic? So those are the qualifiers.
That's the case. I should be number one.
There you go, baby.
I'm just saying. I should be in the top 5. What number you say I was?
So I haven't gotten to your number yet, but what do you think of these lists in general?
You know what, man? I always wanted to be among the greatest wrestlers in the history of the game. I always wanted my name to ring, with the guys that really went out there and performed at a really, really high level. So for me, it means a lot. I remember, studying the Nick Bockwinkel's and, the Ric Flairs and the JYDs of the world and saying, man, I want to be able to be like those guys. I want to be a real player in the game. I want to be a shaker and mover in the game. I want to be able to leave a legacy and a history behind as well. I never thought about championships or anything like that. I just want to be among those names. So yeah, it means a lot. To be a part of that fraternity, I guess you could say.
So when you think about how many, there's been, I would venture to guess to say thousands of people who've come through WWE. Is it in the thousands?
Oh, man,
right?
It's
got
that.
right. Yeah,
it's like in the thousands. The tens of thousands.
Of people who've come through and wrestlers, even if they've done one shot or what have you.
Yeah.
So to be in the top 50, it's interesting. Now, the other qualifier here that we have to make sure is said before I reveal the list, and tell me if you think that this affects your ranking, because this is based just on everyone's WWE career. So if you were outside of WWE for a point and then came in, or if you came in and left, they don't include any of that.
My 10-year career in WCW is
not
null and void.
No one cares about it. Well, this list doesn't care about it. Okay, this list is not factoring in anybody's outside of WWE ranking. So what I want to do,
well, that might make my ranking go down.
Right.
I can see that.
Well, yeah, you're the most decorated star in WCW history, so it's going to hurt a little bit. But this is what they said. For example, the majority of Ric Flair's 16 world title runs were one away from the company and were not taken into consideration in the countdown. Okay, so I'm going to start with number 40. All right, and I just want you to hear. I'm going to read them through, and then we can talk about it. Is that cool?
Okay.
Number 40 is superstar Billy Graham. Number 39 is Rob Van Dam. Number 38 is Owen Hart. Number 37 is Mr. Perfect. Number 36 is Dave Batista. Number 35 is the Ultimate Warrior. Number 34, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Number 33, Booker T. Number 32, Jake the Snake Roberts. And then number 30, they stopped at 32. Okay. So there you go. So you're between Jake Roberts and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, above superstar Billy Graham, Batista, Mr. Perfect, Owen Hart. How do you feel about number 33?
I could take that. I'm not going to sit here and say, I got to take that, because if Perfect is higher than, lower than I am, come on. That's high company.
You're above Ricky.
Steamboat, somebody who I admire, somebody who I always want to be like. Jake, another guy who was so intelligent as far as the wrestling game goes.
Superstar Billy Graham.
Billy Graham,
the company.
all of those names is exactly what I strive to become. When I got in the wrestling business, I wanted my name to ring with all of those type of guys, and that right there, those 10 names, that's some great company for me to be in. So I'm not going to sit here and complain one bit about that company that I'm sharing that ring with right there. Oh man, great company.
If they did consider WCW, right? Do you think you're top 5? I know that's a hard thing to answer. Because I feel like everybody watching the chat right now, there's a case.
It's really hard for me to answer that question, but I could refer to Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy said, as far as qualifications go, Booker T, perhaps is the greatest wrestler that ever put on a pair of boots, and that's that right there. That's high praise. That's high praise, and I appreciate him for saying something like that about me. Do I get my just due, my full amount of credit? I don't think so. And that's to be expected, though.
What do you mean?
Well, that's people say, man, that's not fair, and I go, man, life is not fair. You know what I mean? You can't expect everything to be fair. That's just not the American way. You know what I mean? So, deflate gate, all that. You're going to do whatever you can, to win, as well as you're going to root and cheer for the ones that you like the most. And I get that. I've had a lot of praise, from my fans throughout my wrestling career. And I've always never tried to, just cater to, one group or one, section or anything like that. I wanted it to be all inclusive as far as when I went out there and performed. But I do understand when I went out and performed with certain guys, and just say, for instance, versus Babyface, Sting versus Booker T. I knew he would get the most cheers in that match, and it was, and there again, it was to be expected, just because, that's just the game. That's just part of it. We play it, and we play the hand that we're dealt, and we try to, do the best with that. You know what I mean? But life's not fair. Life's not fair at all. But as far as this list goes, am I going to be, one that's, walking around, with his, head down because I'm, in a group of the greatest, performers in the history of the game? Hell no, man. I'm going to take that to my grave. I'm going to take that to my grave and say, wow, man, I did that. Which was something I really thought about when I first got in this wrestling business. It wasn't about the money. It wasn't about the fame or anything like that. It was about going out there and being the best performer in that ring, night in and night out, no matter what. Night in and night out, I wanted to be the best. And a lot of those guys, they heard me say it, man, go follow that. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to truly be the best. And titles, championships, caviar dreams just comes along with all of that. We got to take another break, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a momento, dog. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. Just chopping it up, coming to you live from the MGM Grand Hotel and Casino, getting ready for the big fight going down this weekend. Sebastian Fundora taking on Tim Tszyu, 154-pound supremacy, as well as Rolly Romero taking on Isak Pitbull Cruz. Man, it's going down. Fireworks is going to be going down live from the T-Mobile Arena on Saturday night. I can't wait. I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna get suited and booted, and I'm gonna be all up in the house, and it's gonna be good. I can't wait. I know we got a lot of super chatters coming in too, so we're gonna get to you
we
guys.
do have a couple. I did want to ask, because we are live, and today we're gonna get the first official SmackDown of the Jade Cargill era. All right, she's officially a SmackDown superstar. My thing is this: you don't bring Jade on SmackDown the week prior to WrestleMania unless she's got something to do on WrestleMania. That's what I feel like, right? So, and we still don't know several. I think there are several things still kind of up in the air regarding WrestleMania, like where are people going to be, who's going to be in this what match and what have you. I'm excited for what's going to come in the women's division, because the thing too is post WrestleMania, I feel like they're going to have to shake things up a bit. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
They got to shake things up. They got to put a little more on Raw, put a little more on SmackDown, split the rosters, maybe call up some people from NXT and what have you, and have a meaningful thing. So my question though was going to be this, because I don't know what Tiffany Stratton's doing on WrestleMania. I don't know what Bianca Belair's doing on WrestleMania. I don't know what Naomi's doing at WrestleMania. Jade Cargill at WrestleMania. There's a few other names of women. Zelina Vega. I don't know what they're doing at WrestleMania. So do you think that there might be some multi-women match?
Well, I remember when I showed up on WrestleMania and they didn't have anything to do. It was like, let's put him in a battle royal. I won the battle royal.
You did.
And, that match actually was one of my WrestleMania highlight moments,
Yeah.
I would say.
That was WrestleMania 21.
Yeah. So I can see something like that happen. It's a lot of talent right now that's just waiting on what they're going to be doing for WrestleMania, and then a lot of people aren't even figuring into the equation at WrestleMania right now. So to be able to, hot shot it and get everybody a little piece of the action, I love to see it happen.
Let me ask you that about WrestleMania though, and then we'll get to our super chatters. But is it deflating? And I hope you don't mind me asking this, but is it somewhat deflating when you're leading up to WrestleMania and there's not a clear plan for you, or is it I know I'm getting on the show, I'll be patient, with the Battle Royal.
Yeah. I mean, there's some angst as far as anxiety as far as man, you want to get that check.
Right, because that,
you know what I mean? That's
that
a big check
factors
for you.
into a lot.
Well, back in the day, I don't know how it is now, but back in the day, yeah, you wanted to be on the show because that was a huge check for you. The higher you were on the card, that was just the way it was back then. So I know when I showed up and they didn't have anything for me for that WrestleMania, and then they created the Battle Royal for me to actually get in there and get a little piece of the action. I was happy about it. I was like, oh yeah, okay, here we go. And that's just the way it is. Sometimes your spot changes. You're not going to always be in the main event. You're not going to always be high on the card. That's just part of it. Everybody's get a certain turn and whatnot. And I just always looked at it that way.
Yeah, because to me, the check at the end of the day is probably the best thing about WrestleMania.
Oh yeah.
And again, I hope I'm not prying.
No.
So if I am, you can just cut me off. But when you open the WrestleMania check, like especially after something like a 19 or a 20, where you're in a tag team title match in 2019, you're in the main event for the world title. Like, are you like, oh, all right?
I only really thought about the check with Hunter. That's the only check I really thought about. As far as really wanting to see what it was, because I had heard about those checks.
Yeah.
And then when I saw it, I was like, okay, here we go.
Was it? Can I ask you this? Was it like the biggest single match check ever?
It was the biggest single check I ever got in the wrestling business. Yeah, and it was enough to take care of a lot of things. It was a monster. And you hear about the Hogan checks. WrestleMania checks. It wasn't that big.
It wasn't a Hogan check.
No, but it was good enough. It was good enough for me not to complain about it. You know what I'm saying?
Can I ask you this too? Like, because I've heard certain guys say it out loud on shows, so I don't think I'm speaking out of school here. But some guys have said, "Oh, I looked at my payoff and I wasn't happy with the payoff, and I went and complained."
Yeah.
Did that ever cross your mind? Did you ever like, "Oh, I need to go complain"?
No.
And get more?
No. I was always compensated properly, and I've always felt.
You feel like you always paid your worth.
Yeah, I really do. And then you got to understand in this business when you're making the kind of money that a lot of guys making. When I was doing this as well as now, you got to know how to manage it. I always looked at where you're going to make that kind of money anywhere else. And I'm not going to say how much money I made for WrestleMania, but it was a substantial check to where it could pay for a lot of people's houses.
Yeah, wow.
So you say, where am I going to go make this kind of money doing this? I never imagined or dreamt being able to make that kind of money in the wrestling business because I used to do it for $10, $20, $50 was a damn good payoff, when I was coming up. And then, when I started making $100, I was like, wow, man. And I went to WCW and they offered us $75,000. And I go, wow, you can make that kind of money doing this, And they was like, yeah, you can make that kind of money doing this, And so I was like, so for me,
75 a year, right?
Yeah. So I always tried to figure, say, man, I'm gonna try to, take this money and manage it properly, and hopefully I'll come out on the other end, a lot better than I started. But I could have complained, and perhaps I wouldn't be here talking to you right now.
Probably the biggest, I'm sure there's other businesses this way, but at the lowest end, making $10 a match, but then once you get to WCW, you're making $75,000. I don't know if there's a bigger disparity in any other business. Do you know what I mean? Like going from making crumbs to the next level is you're making
and I had a regular
ton of money.
job too, and I was making $15,000 a year. And
this is when you were at the warehouse.
Yeah, and I was at the apartment complex, but I had a free apartment,
right?
As
big,
well.
Huge.
So that helped me out a lot.
Huge.
That was a nice chunk of change that I was making, but I was only making cash like $15,000 a year. So for me to go from making $15,000 a year in an apartment to making $75,000 a year, I was like, wow. And then that 75 went to like 100, and then it went to like 125 in like a few months. So I was like, man, I never thought about you can make that kind of money legally in my life.
Because you probably saw some guys make that kind of money.
Oh yeah, but it wasn't legal.
Wasn't on the up and up.
Yeah. So for me, to find myself in that position, yeah, man. I say take this money and try to manage it and manage it properly. 99%. Keep your mouth shut. 100%. Speak up 100% of the time. But you might get fired. You know what I mean? So no, pick your battles.
Yeah, for me, I will say, and I've had payoffs for certain things. I'm not talking about in wrestling, like WrestleMania or anything like that, obviously. But I'm always I'm always like, okay, like this is I never think to complain, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I've never thought about that.
Yeah.
But perhaps I could get more money, if I can.
Well, I wouldn't say complain about. I mean, just ask for more.
Ask for more next time.
Yeah, that's all. That's all you do. You just ask for more next time. You know what I mean? Ask and see if they'll give it to you. If they won't, we see what we can get.
Yeah,
it's one of those type of deals.
When you hear like people, and again, I don't know why I'm asking all this, but like when you hear people complain at all, like back in the day, was there like whispers in the locker room like, oh, hey, such and such went and talked to the office and got more. Maybe I should go do that.
Nah, I mean,
no.
Nah.
Or y'all didn't talk about your payoffs?
We never really talked about payoffs or anything like that to each other. It's just not.
Is that part of the business? Like,
well, it's just not something that, you can find yourself really, chasing your tail. Saying, I need this. And the thing is, if you're gonna get it, if it's gonna come to you. I mean, if you're that guy in this business, it's gonna find its way to you. That's just part of it. I never went chasing, for contracts. I never went chasing, for spots.
You weren't politicking.
Never politic once. I always said, man, just give me the script and let me go out and perform and show you how good I am. And most of the guys that are really, really good, they don't have to do a whole lot of politicking. They really don't. Most of the guys that are really, really good, they don't really think about their spot or anything like that. They just don't. And for me, I'm not bragging or anything like that, but I never really thought about my spot or anything because I always showed up on time. I always was very, very professional. And every time you gave me a job to go out there and do, I was going to go out there and do that job to the best of my ability and try to surpass anything that you ever thought with that one little thing that we were going to do right there. So for me, it's just always been about performing. And, a lot of those guys that complained, we don't hear about them anymore. We don't see them. That complaint may have been very, very brief. I know we got to take a break, but I remember one time in Disney, one of the guys, we were having a meeting, and one of the guys, he was an underneath guy, he raised his hand. He goes, I think the underneath guys, need to, get paid a little bit more money. You know what I mean? And I remember, the boss said, "You're fired. Get him out. Get him out of here. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute." Boom! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. We're live from the MGM Grand Hotel and Casino. Getting ready for the big fight going down tomorrow night, man. Sebastian Vandur is going to see if he can go in there and take that championship, take that strap off of Tim Tszyu, 154-pound, supremacy, as well as Isak Pitbull Cruz versus Rolly Romero. That fight's going to be awesome as well. I can't wait. As well as the 40-year-old Cuban-American dream, Arislandi Lara. I always like saying that right there.
It's a good one.
Arislandi. I'm going to be in action as well, so I'm going to get there early. As well as tomorrow, guys, all big moments. We're going to be doing some live streaming as well from the fight. So make sure you guys be tuned in to Fight Night. It's going to be some hot action going down.
Well, let's get to some of our super chats here before we wrap the show up for the week. This comes from Preston Davis. Preston Davis says, "Peace and love, family."
Boom.
Well, we appreciate you, Preston. That's a good one. John JID 999. Booker, what makes a good referee and a bad referee? What qualities in a ref made you want them out there reffing your matches or not? This is a great question that I think we could spend a lot of time on, but what makes a good ref and a bad ref? Or let's just say what makes a good ref.
Yeah, let's just go that route right there. Good ref, you're not going to know he's in the ring. He's always going to be on his job, but you're not going to really notice he's there. He's not going to be in your way ever. For me, the referee for me, throughout my career, that probably reffed 85% of my matches was Nick Patrick, referee Nick Patrick in WCW. Then when he came to WWE, he reffed a lot of my matches too. But he was a guy that I could always go to. He was a guy that I could always trust. When you're in the ring, of course, it takes two to tango, but you really need three to really be able to get the job done, man. And for me, I would use Nick Patrick so much in so many different ways in the matchup. I remember Nick Patrick. He took the bump in my championship match against Rey Mysterio.
Right, yeah.
And he took the biggest bump in that match. He went out, roll, hit, and then turned to flip. And laid there until you had to make the 3 count. And everybody over on that side was looking at Nick Patrick because the performance he had pulled off, you know.
One of the greats.
But that's what I look for in a referee, a guy that can actually go out there and be seen but unseen at the same time.
Now, would you go as far as requesting certain people for your matches? I've heard that before. Like, hey, can you put Charles Robinson on this match, or can you put?
No, I would not be requesting Charles Robinson for anything. He can mess up your whole career.
You're still getting heat for it.
He can mess up your
Sorry,
whole career.
Charles.
Yeah.
But would you go as far as requesting people?
Yeah. I mean, Brian Hildebrand, God rest his soul, he was a referee that used to ref a lot of my matches, man, and his antics was like totally over the top. You know, I so miss Brian Hildebrand, and like I say, Mickey J. I used to like Mickey J. As well.
Mickey, yeah.
And Nick Patrick, like I say, Nick Patrick was a guy that I always requested to work my matches, and seemed like it just became the norm in WCW for Nick Patrick. I don't know if he may have requested that match because he was senior referee Nick Patrick.
He was the senior man.
Yeah.
I also think the things I will say as a fan that I like as a referee, the referee's got to have a distinctive 3 count. Okay?
Yeah.
You just named one guy, Nick Patrick, very distinctive 3 count. He was kind of low with it. He didn't really come far back. He was kind of low, and he would kind of sidearm it a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, Earl Hebner would come all the way up and over.
Yeah.
He'd come all the way up and over,
Yeah.
and he'd really give you that dramatic 3 count.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that I like.
Yeah.
And I like now because for a while WWE went away from it where you wouldn't even hear the referee's name and you wouldn't even know anything about the referee. Now they say the ref's name more and they like give you a little bit of personality. I like that because I like when the ref's got a little personality. And the 2 guys I just mentioned, Nick Patrick and Earl Hebner, they had a match on pay-per-view against each other.
Yeah.
That's because they got over with the fans as refs.
Now, you know what? Honestly, I always thought I was one of the best refs in wrestling.
Oh, wait, no. This is the booker.
Always-
This is the booker, you know.
You gotta pop it. Yeah, that is. It's 2. You know what I mean? And then, I remember having the boys cracking up so hard when I was doing that, playing special guest ref on the road with WWE.
Because you did like a whole tour as a referee, right?
Yeah, the boys, they got so caught up in that 3 count. It was the best, man. I was like, somebody's going to steal this. I know somebody's going to steal it, you know what I mean? Because it's good stuff. It's good stuff. It really is.
Yeah. So, and I think a lot of people don't know how intimately involved and important the referee is, especially for television wrestling. Very important.
Man.
I mean, so important.
Yeah, definitely.
So much that referee is doing. This one comes from John. What's your favorite cheese?
Kraft.
Just like American cheddar?
Kraft singles, man.
Yeah, so
Kraft
you're like a cheddar guy.
I tried the Velveeta singles, and I thought they were actually pretty good for a while, but the Kraft singles is something I'd say, man, it's the go-to. It's something I grew up on, I think.
Yeah.
What I mean? My mama used to have those Kraft singles, you know what I mean? And sometimes, when you're in the hood, grilled cheese sandwiches are all you might get.
Grilled cheese is a delicacy, especially in the South.
A little butter on it.
A little butter on it. Butter on both sides.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You know what I do? I put 2 slices of Kraft in the middle, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of make them to where they're like this. They're not stacked right on top of each other. They're kind of like that.
Yeah.
And then I take a little sprinkled cheese, sprinkle it on the top of the bread before I put it in there.
That's too much damn cheese.
Nah, man. It's great.
That's too
That's
much
great.
cheese.
What are you talking about?
Man,
Too much
be
cheese.
all clogged up eating that much cheese.
But you're not like a Gouda fan or
I like
feta.
I like Gouda.
You like feta?
Yeah, I like the bacon, egg, and Gouda.
I like the feta cheese. I'm a big feta guy.
I like feta. You know what I mean? But I'm an American cheese guy. I'm American. I'm American made. You know what I mean?
I'm a big feta fan. I'm a feta fan. What can I say? Callie Toenail. What up, Callie? Good Friday and happy Easter to all. So does anyone get the Nation of Domination vibes from The Rock? I can see going that way like he did with Farouk. I think what he's referring to is when he was in the Nation and then kicked Farouk out of the Nation and kind of took over. I could see that. Actually, I don't see that, to be honest with you. I see it going the other way. Like a turn happening, but not so much The Rock taking the bloodline. The Rock turning on the bloodline.
I can see that.
That's what I see more so.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I don't know. Again, him going heel was the best idea for him.
Well,
it was the best idea.
I think being backed in the corner was the best thing for the whole WrestleMania.
I agree.
And I think the right decision was made.
I agree.
I think night 1 and night 2 is turning out to be something that everybody's going to want to tune in to see. It could be a spectacle. Just the stipulations.
Yes.
Just that alone.
Well, I just liked it. What happens at the end of night 1 is going to lead into the end of night 2.
Yeah.
And that, just from a television viewer, well, now I got to watch it. I got to see what's going to happen.
I remember just earlier in the gym, guy go, who you got, Cody? Is Cody going to do it this time? I'm like, man, I hope so, man. It's one of those type of deals, So everybody's anticipating WrestleMania and how this thing's going to, play out. For me, like I said, I don't like writing the show or anything like that. I just like sitting back, watching it and seeing how it play out, just because I am a true fan of the game more than anything. But I like how this thing's playing out. It's going to be awesome WrestleMania. I'm looking forward to it.
Tell me what you think about the level that Cody is over, right, as with the fans.
Well,
as a babyface, I just want to ask this question real quick. As a babyface, and not like for example, CM Punk style babyface, right, to where you're a little anti-authority, a little edgy. Like, to use the old school wrestling term, the white meat babyface, which is Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
But he's so over with fans. Like, that's got to be difficult in this day and age to achieve that, don't you think? Like, to achieve that kind of
stardom.
Yes.
I get it.
Just being the white meat, good guy babyface.
Well, Cody, he's not trying to reinvent the wheel. He's just going out there and performing at a very, very high level. He's trying to make his promos interesting. He's trying to make you feel something when you're watching it. He goes back to the promo that Dusty Rhodes talked about back in the day. He's doing nothing any different than that, and it's working. He's one of the most over guys in the business right now. And I think he's one of the more over guys in the business, I think, because of what he did outside of WWE when he left.
Had to do it.
I really feel like he really, really needed that. And I think that is what put Cody Rhodes in this position now, to where he is looked at as a bona fide star. No, we got to get out of here. But I've heard guys say that, Cody Rhodes is like cooling off. He's, I don't think he's cooling off.
I don't think so
people
at all.
Are, getting caught up in the story of what's going on right now. And like I said earlier, we got our favorites. We got what we like. And that might be what that is. But I do know this. If and when Cody Rhodes finally crashed that glass ceiling, the people going to go nuts. Bottom line. That's what's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be one of those fair weather things. I don't think it's going to be like one of those fly-by-night things or anything like that. I think that moment is going to solidify what this business is truly all about. We got to get up out of here, man.
We do.
I want to thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame today, getting your champagne wishes, caviar dreams, Brad, for all the heavy lifting. We got a big fight going down Saturday night. We got to get ready. But like I say always, man, peace. We love you, and we out.
The Ed Milet Show showcases the greatest peak performers sharing their journey, knowledge, and thought leadership.
This is one of the all-time best pieces of advice ever given on the show.
Actor Rainn Wilson.
The number one thing that psychologists point to with young people of why they are struggling so much in this mental health epidemic is they don't have resilience. So how do you build resilience if you don't understand suffering itself?
The Ed Milet Show is available on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Hi there. Sorry for the interruption, but are you enjoying this show on Google Podcasts? You should know that the Google Podcasts app is going away this spring. That's right, going away, gone as in no longer available. You can still enjoy this show elsewhere though. Try out Spotify or Amazon Music, or maybe TuneIn is more your style. Whatever app you switch to, be sure to follow so you never miss the next episode. And thanks for listening, wherever you listen.